Hello and welcome. How are you doing? Come on. Come on. How are you doing? All right. We want to shape up your team. Who thinks like their team needs to get in shape? Yeah. A few? Okay. Good. So, yeah. I thought so too with my team, but actually, when you look at it, I think every team could get a little bit of a shape up by building a shared understanding. So I will start with telling a little bit of a story of a, let's say, normal team. Actually, a team that I could have been working on in the last couple of years. So what you do normally, I start my day with a stand-up, right? So development team, stand-up. Pretty normal. So you share, actually, I share what I've done yesterday, and then what I will do today, and then any blockers, right? And then my coworkers go, and they just like say, yeah, we are still working on improving the code base, and we're probably going to do that in the next 3-4 days. And I just wonder, like, why are you doing this? I don't know. I don't understand. Like, I'm working on features all the time, and why are you actually doing this? So I don't really get it. But hey, I just like move on my day. Stand-up is over. I go and work on my tasks, right? On my user stories that I have to do, and then just like normal, there's something coming up in the team chat. So here's my boss telling me in the team chat, asking, yeah, who's putting together the questions actually for the job interview, for the candidate that is coming on Wednesday? And I think just like, well, I think that's your responsibility to do that. Why are you asking us? And then my boss says, yeah, okay, yeah, I want the questions come from the team, right? Okay, good, you're doing the interview, but the questions come from the team, great, whatever. I said, and then I said also just like Maggie did it last time, right? And then Maggie jumps in and says, oh, this time I don't have time for it because we have this big release and I have to write the test cases for the release. So conversation goes on, and my boss said, yeah, I don't have the time either. I have back-on-back meetings the whole 2 days, so I just said, okay, great, yeah, I put together the questions for the interview, so I just do it. But I still think it's not my responsibility. Okay, day moves on, I go back to my working tasks, and then all of a sudden, this happens here. A meeting, a calendar notification pops up, meeting with sales. And let's put it that way. We as a development team don't have a really great relationship with the sales team. They are always very demanding on new features they want to build, and we're building new features. And then in this meeting, they all come up with, oh yeah, we need this brand new feature. We just been at a customer yesterday, and we need this brand new feature. Actually, can you push it into the sprint? So, of course, yeah, we can. Yeah, so I'm dropping my work on this new feature. It's a spreadsheet export because they want to have kind of a backup for the data. So they want to have a button where they can export the data as a spreadsheet. And I just like wonder, why are not using our backup functionality or our APIs to do that? Well, I don't care, right? I just like, this is a user story I have to work with, so I just go on. So seems like a little bit maybe extreme if you put it all together, but it's maybe a team that's lacking a shared understanding. So it seems like a normal team, but with a little bit of lacking shared understanding. So what we have done, actually, we've put together 4 plays. Who knows the team playbook, the Atlassian team playbook here? 1, 2, 3. Oh, not many. Great. So the team playbook is actually great for helping you to work better together as a team. It's just a couple of plays that you do as a team, exercises that you do as a team, and then become better as a team. So we put together these 4 plays to just like build a shared understanding, because this is what we think is the most important thing you should start with when want to improve your team. And I will guide you a little bit through the 4 plays, explain you what this play is about, how you play them, and what they help you with. So this is what it should look like, right? Me as a team, I align to all my goals, right? I know what goals we're working for. Well, the reality actually looks more like this, right? We have kind of a similar understanding where we want to go. The direction is, yeah, we know the directions, but we don't really have the same goal maybe in mind, right? So it's important that you talk about this. And of course, it's not a straight line. Everyone has their opinions. So it looks more like this, where we get to the goal. And if you struggle with that and you think like you need to just like talk as a team about just like what is the problem we're solving, what are we doing, then the team poster play is the one you should start with. So team poster play, of course, it's not a poster that you put on a wall. It's a poster about, it's a Confluence page where you introduce your team, right? So, and it looks a little bit like this. This is an example of a Confluence page, team poster Confluence page, where you just like talk about what are our goals, what do we want to do. So you keep your team aligned on where you want to go. So the play goes like this. So it's a step-to-step guide, what you do. So first you talk about your goals and projects. And you can see that right up there in the heading here, that this is the goal, this is the vision of the team, this is the mission of the team. Then you just like talk a little bit of the team members. You can share photos of the team members on the team poster if you want. And then share maybe some insights of your team, what the roles are, what they are doing. But the most important thing is what you do when you're putting together the play, you come together and talk about what problems are we actually solving as a team. And this can be totally fascinating because you can have different opinions about this. And I've done this play with a couple of teams where it came out that there were different ideas about the problems that they were solving, actually. So it's good to align on that. Then you talk about who are our customers, to just like get alignment on that. How we measure success, also important. And then what our solutions do we offer. And the team poster is not only good for your team, to just like get reminded of what is actually the problem that we're solving and what are we doing. It's also great for just like pointing it to other teams, right? And then showing it to other teams and say, this is what we do. This is the problem that we want to solve. And then other team says, oh, this is the problem you solve. We have something in common here. We should talk, actually. So team poster play goes through you step by step in the team poster play. You just go through this step by step, and this page shows you in the playbook, Atlassian team playbook, how to do it. All right, so we are aligned on goals. Great. So let's go do and start the work, right? Well, there are different things that we need to do, right, to just like achieve our goals. And we don't just like grab anything and just like run with it. There's some different roles that we have in our team. And are you clear on the roles? And more importantly, are you clear on the responsibilities of these roles? This is very important. And that's why we introduced the roles and responsibility play. Pretty easy name, pretty easy to remember. And it's about roles and responsibilities. So you start actually with identifying. So also here we have a Confluence template for that. In Confluence, you can just like put it on. And you start with identifying the different roles on your team. Could be just like developer, product manager, whatever team you have, right? And different team members. So single team members can have multiple roles. Also, just like roles can be just like taken from different team members. So software developers, you more probably have more than one on your team when you're a software development team. So the play also guides you through this. So very important, you just like identify the roles, and then you go do an exercise just like on your own, and just like write down for every role. You write down the responsibilities, what you think the responsibilities are for that role. And then comes the interesting part. You compare that with your coworkers. And this is really interesting if you find that out, that actually there are different things about, you think differently about the responsibilities sometimes. You think like, oh, I thought it's your responsibility, and someone says, oh, I thought it's your responsibility. So it's really important that you are clear on which responsibility, which roles has which responsibility. So as I said, yeah, you identify the roles, you determine what other things, you share what you think, you identify gaps in your role understanding, and also what you get is just like, you will find some responsibilities that are not assigned to any role and no one wants to take that. You will find that. And you have to talk about this. Maybe it's a team responsibility, but be careful with that. If it's a team responsibility, you always have to talk about it. Like in the example in the beginning, where who's putting together the interview questions is always a discussion. So it's good to just like give it a role, responsibility to a specific role, actually. All right. Now that we have that, you can run this roles and responsibility play in the team playbook. Also, step-by-step guide. You just go through it. It's a 60 minutes exercise that you do with your team. All right, now we are just like fine on the roles and responsibility, great. But how do we actually work together? People work differently, actually. So you need to just like have an agreement on how many meetings do we run and what are the meetings for? Or how do we communicate actually? What do we put on Teams or Slack? And what do we put into Confluence? And what do we communicate with emails? Just get an agreement on that. Because people are different and people communicate differently. And you just like, if you want to work together as a team, you need to have an agreement. And also, how do we want to improve? Like, what are we doing? Do we do a meeting to improve? Do we have a page for just like where we write down all the improvement? Talk about this. And this is what working agreements does, right? So working agreements is another play in the team playbook where you talk about these things, about your working agreements. Similar as the roles and responsibility play and the team poster play, the team playbook guides you actually through all this exercise. You talk about your team preferences, your communication channels, your meeting rituals, your escalation processes, also important, and then also how you, as I said, how you want to continuously improve. Put that on a Confluence page, and then you can review that every 3 months or so. You should review, is it still our working agreements, or do we need to add something? Do we need to change something? With all those plays, I recommend them to just like review them every 3 months to just like have an updated version in your Confluence instance. So, as I said, also takes 60 minutes to do the working agreements play from the team playbook. Now comes a super new play that we just like released 2 weeks ago. We have run with a couple of teams. Actually, we have run it as a team, and I will show you the results in a sec. It's about just like autonomous teams highly aligned. This is how the theory looks like, right? We all run autonomously. We can just like, we don't need any intersection points. But the reality looks a little bit different, actually. Yeah, we need to work together with other teams, basically. We have dependencies from other teams, and we need to work together with other teams. And some of these dependencies some of the relations with other teams are green, great, cool. Some of those are actually medium, and some are, yeah, we should work on those relationships. And making it a conscious, just like making it visible, like what your relationships are. This is what the network of teams play gives you. So it looks like this. This is just like a mural. Now we can do it in Confluence whiteboards, of course. So we are the team here in the middle, and we just like put on this radar the teams that we work with. The closer it is to the center, the more critical it is to our success, right? We depend on this team for our success. So what you're going to do in this play is actually you just like identify the teams you work with, put it on the radar. You classify the teams by criticality, right? To say, this is a critical team, this is a critical team. The closer it is to your team, to the center, the more critical the relationships are to the success of your team. And then you identify the top 5 critical teams, right? So the top 5 critical teams, you identify those and assign relationship owners to those relations. And then comes the hard part to say, like, how is the relationship? As you might see, if you look closer, this is a real play that we did in January with our team, and we just like had, I think, 1 green relationship, and the rest was just a yellow, and 3 were actually red. So really, we needed to work on those. And I don't say that everything is great now and everything is green now. We're still working on those relationships, but it's good to just like make it visible how the relationships are to those teams to improve those over time. You can also do it in Trello. There's also a Trello template for that if you prefer Trello. So network of teams play, also important, runs 45 to 90 minutes. Also step-by-step guide in the team playbook. So we saw the team poster, the roles and responsibility, network of teams, and working agreements. And we think these 4 plays are essential for your shared understanding of what you want to build or what you want to do or what you do as a team, actually. So if you want to learn more about that, we have a booth there, the Team Playbook booth. All of this is free. The Team Playbook booth, you can come there. We can talk a little bit more about it. Or you can watch our university course. There's also a university course out there with some tips and tricks, how to run those plays. Watch the university course. And I want to stop this, or just like end this presentation with a poem. I'm a big poem writer. So I wanted to take the advantage that I'm staying on stage and read a poem about shared understanding. Are you ready? Yeah? All right. Whew. All right. A team with no shared understanding is adrift. Each member with their own view, no common gift. Like a boat without a rudder, they spin in place. No progress, no direction, no pace. The team may have great skills, but they don't align. Their efforts cancel out like waves in decline. Each voice may be heard, but they don't resonate. Their purpose lost like a ship that can't navigate. But with a shared understanding, the team can steer like a compass that guides with nothing to fear. The strengths will combine like a sail on the breeze. Their potential unlocked with unity they seize. So let's work to align and create shared view. With clarity and purpose, we'll know what to do. For teams of shared understanding can move ahead towards their goal with nothing to dread. Great, right? Yeah. Actually, I'm not a big poem writer. I asked ChatGPT to write a shared understanding. So if ChatGPT gets it, you should get it too. Work on your shared understanding, and thanks for your attention. Thank you.